Yo, 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 how's it going, everybody? Welcome to TrendSpider Live. My name is Mike, and I'm joined today with Rock Regan, creator of many custom indicators here on the TrendSpider platform. Rock, how is your day going so far?
Day's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. I mean, we had a little bit of red here in the market today, but otherwise,
Yeah,
not a good day.
no, that's good to hear. Yeah, let's take a look at the market really quickly here, just on the daily. Got a crazy wick on SPY. Let me turn off the aftermarket data. Man, did we really get down to 685 today? That is kind of insane. Um, have your bottom catcher indicator on. And actually, I'm just seeing right now, there's a bottom catcher signal that fired on SPY basically at the low, as you can see right there, after this candle close to the upside above that pivot. Would have been a really cool trade to take. And yeah, if you guys are interested in following along with us, if you guys are already on TrendSpider, you can use the link down below in the description to import Rock Reagan's indicators. He has a ton of them on the TrendSpider store. Bottom catcher is one of them. Very, very cool indicator. But before we get a little bit too much into that, 1 second here, I'm going to show us kind of like the chart of the day, or one of the charts of the days that I've been looking at. It's Now Stock. 1 second here. So as you guys can see, Now Stock is down about 12% on the day. Crazy move down in the pre-market session. So I'm just going to use Sidekick AI to figure out exactly what is going on. I'm just going to open Sidekick and send in this prompt right here so we can figure out why the stock is down over 12%. Of course, they did have earnings, so that's going to be one of the main culprits, I am sure. But let's wait for Sidekick's response to see what is really going on. Zoom in a little bit here. So ServiceNow plunges 11% despite earnings beat on weak 2026 growth outlook. So, of course, they had a Q4 earnings beat on EPS and revenue. But the reason why the stock is down so much is because the 2026 subscription revenue growth guidance of 19.5% to 20% disappointed investors, showing deceleration from the 20.5% in 2025. So that is our chart of the day right here, is ServiceNow. And no bottom catcher signal there on ServiceNow. It is not looking very good. If you look at the daily chart, did have a pretty good gap down on the daily. But today we have a ton of big earnings, including Apple, Western Digital, that's WDC, SNDK, some of these crazy, crazy memory plays. Rock, what are you seeing going into these earnings reports? Are you in any of these positions? Are you watching any of them? Any
I,
opinions here?
yeah, I mean, I'm watching. I'm watching. Obviously, Apple is one that I'm highly interested in, for sure. And
Yep.
I mean, I just think obviously with the Microsoft earnings last night, it's going to be interesting to see where Apple comes into play in terms of what they're doing. I think they had some news today also that they're acquiring a AI company in Israel.
Yes.
If I recall. So it'd be interesting to see how what comes out on the call on that. But Apple is probably my main focus for today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the biggest companies in the entire world. It's definitely going to be having a lot of eyes, and it has a kind of a similar setup to Meta and Microsoft yesterday. I believe Meta had the most similar setup because it's sitting right here at resistance. Like, this is Meta's chart yesterday into earnings. It was sitting right here at the top of this gap, and this almost like a triple top formation there in Apple. Something kind of similar here. You see there's a lot of prior resistance here at this level that it's going to have to break. Meta is able to do it. Microsoft, again, kind of similar setup, was not able to do it. Microsoft is down in the dumps today. So it's going to be very interesting to see, like you said, what happens with Apple today. Would be nice to see something like what happened with Meta, gap above this resistance level, because that would be great for the markets. As you can see here, Meta had a power earnings gap to the upside. Been pretty gappy lately. The last earnings report had a pretty big gap to the downside there. So yeah, lots and lots of action. Somebody's asking to take a look at gold. I can bring that up right here. GC1 gold futures, crazy candle. If you look at the gold ETF, same thing here. Had a pretty nasty decline at one point there. I'll take a look at the 5-minute chart. Pretty insane. Look at that bottom catcher fired, Rock, right here on GLD. A 478 and 10 cents. Not a bad play. Let's see.
Yeah, it's a really clean indicator in terms of signals. You don't get a lot of signals, but the signals you get are pretty quality.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
perfect, but they're pretty good.
Yeah, most definitely. Someone just asked about WDC in the chat. You can see it's pretty choppy price action today. Start off on the daily here. It did, start on a gap above yesterday's close, but we're kind of trading in yesterday's candle for now. Again, on the 5-minute, there was a couple of bottom catcher signals fired. I think a lot of people use this indicator as, on the daily or the weekly, but, it is, you're able to use it on intraday charts as well, including the 5. And honestly, it's caught some pretty nice bottoms today. Again, here on WDC, it caught one early in the morning at 268 right here. And yeah, that was pretty much the low. Caught the low in gold and WDC today, and actually fired 2 signals today. Just fired another one as it continues making higher lows here on the 5-minute going into the earnings call. We got 9 minutes until we start getting these numbers out. So yeah, Rock, maybe if you want to kind of explain how we got a few minutes here until these earnings reports come out. Not exactly how the bottom catcher works, but can you give us any insight onto, what it's looking for?
Sure, absolutely. So one of the things one of the reasons it's clean is because it really is looking for 6 conditions. And actually, if you pop up my screen, I don't know if you can right now, but I can kind of flash those up.
Yep, there you go.
And so let me make that a little bit bigger. That should be pretty good. But you can see we're always looking for 6 conditions, and we even have a cool down, so we don't get multiple signals once it's been fired. So really, this is kind of what we're looking for. Again, very clean. And when I put this together, it was really meant for a higher time frame, and it wasn't really only until I put it out there that I started getting a lot of feedback from people that are using it really on the lowest time frame. And so I think when you're looking at it from a scalping perspective, you've got to use some other confluence and other indicators to help make your judgment. But it's been proven to, like I said, be pretty effective even in an intraday lowest time frame, 1 minute. I mean, I don't fully trust it at that time frame, but the 5-minute really is kind of my go-to on the lowest time frame.
Nice. Yeah, cool stuff. Cool stuff. So it's basically a counter trend signal.
Yeah.
You're not really, you're waiting for, confirmation of a stock to start reversing and then getting in, as opposed to, like more of a trend following thing. You get in as a stock, already has a ton of momentum and is continuing moving up. So yeah, cool stuff. Cool stuff. Well,
it's got a cool down, so you don't get multiple signals once it fires. You can change that. There are some settings in here, and again, I'll figure out how to make this available too for folks if they're interested. That I put together for it. So
sweet.
Again, I use this. I play a lot of option scalping, and so I'll use this just even during options. So nice. Definitely a good help in terms of looking for those those reversals.
Yep, absolutely. So I can throw up. Go ahead. I can throw up my screen again real quick here. Do have WDC pulled up, and let's take a look at Apple. Apple's looking pretty good here going into the close. Again, got the bottom catcher signals firing on the dip earlier this morning. If you look up the daily chart, or was that this morning? Let's double take that. That was actually yesterday morning on the 5-minute. So decent play there. But as you can see, Apple is starting to make new highs here going into close, trying to test its intraday high, which was the first candle of the day right here at a crazy wick to the upside, and then really started chopping and coming down. But into close, it's looking actually pretty good. Sent this prompt in the Sidekick here so we can see what we can expect from Apple earnings. So let's take a look here at the expected moves versus what is going on. Sidekick is noticing a pattern. It says Apple has beaten estimates in all 3 prior quarters. Of course, if you look over here on our reports tab, we can confirm that. I'll add this to the left. As you can see, all green numbers here on revenue and EPS as well. Actually, a very nice year-over-year change on EPS on Q4 2025. And let's see what Sidekick's take is. I always like to see Sidekick's take. It does say hold before earnings. It's saying the risk to reward for Apple is balanced. It says while fundamental support a beat, the stock already reflects optimism, which is interesting. If we take a look at the daily chart, it has been kind of not performing absolute greatest lately. Over the past week or two, it has come up a good bit into this resistance level. So I think, a hold stance makes sense. Sitting at this resistance, it could go either way, like Microsoft or Meta yesterday. So will be fun to watch. If you guys are out there in the chat, let us know what you guys are watching for. Are you guys mostly looking at Apple earnings? You guys in the memory plays like, SanDisk or Western Digital? Let us know. Oh, go ahead.
SanDisk had some good bottom catchers today too.
Which one?
SanDisk.
Oh, SanDisk, right. Yeah, let's take a look here on the 5-minute. Again, yes. Bottom catcher on the 5-minute has been honestly killing it today so far. Got 4 minutes till the market closes, but here on the 5-minute, it did alert one here right around 5:39, then 5:32 in this choppy action. And if you had the conviction to hold through that, you would be up a little bit here going into close. So decent, a lot of great day trades honestly signaled today on the bottom catcher, from gold to SanDisk. And then there's also, we'll probably cover this after the earnings get announced and we go over the numbers, but there is also a, scanner. So you can actually find these plays as they appear in real time. And Rock put that together pretty recently, right?
Yeah, just last week.
Nice. So that'll be really cool to see. Throw us back down over here. But yeah, we got 3 minutes until the market closes. So we'll get on the after hours market data. And I actually do have a little multi-symbol view over here waiting for us. As you can see, Apple, kind of crazy price action here on the 1 minute into the close. Visa, everything kind of seemed to move up. And then within the last, 15 minutes or so, kind of come down there. Everything is following suit there. So if you guys are out there in the chat, let us know what you guys are watching. If you guys are seeing anything that we are not seeing on our charts, but we do have all the main earnings on my multi-symbol view here on the 1 minute chart that we'll take a look at just a few minutes after all these numbers do end up coming out. And go back down here and maybe do another earnings analysis prompt going into earnings. I think a lot of people are interested in WDC. So let's maybe take a look at what Sidekick has to say about WDC. I know I will be interested personally in SNDK. Do have a little bit of that one, which will be highly affected by WDC as well. And also STX, which is also, correlated with all these memory names, did report earnings, just a couple of days ago. And it was an amazing, amazing result for them. So hopefully we can continue that momentum to the upside. Hopefully. But, these stocks are pretty extended at this point. So I'm not holding my breath. But let's see. So the last, 3 quarters for what is this? WDC, Western Digital have been interesting. It looks like the revenue past couple of quarters has been hit or miss. The EPS for WDC, as you can see here on the EPS chart, has been great. It actually flipped from negative to positive just in 2024. But revenue actually did take a little bit of a hit throughout the past couple of quarters here. You see there's like a minus 30% quarters for Q4 and Q3 of 2025 on revenue growth. So kind of spotty there. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what Sidekick has to say. Again, it's saying hold before earnings. So another hold from Sidekick. It says pattern of beats is solid, but it's price for perfection after a monster rally. Yeah, I mean, that's really the only thing you can say against these. Is they've rallied so much already. It's just like, how much higher can they go without some sort of, pullback And it's saying waiting for guidance clarity. That is definitely something to keep an eye on. And yeah, we got 1 minute until the bell. Let's open up these multi-symbol views and see how we're looking going into the close here. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm thinking we're going to start seeing a little bit of movement here, like 1 minute into the bell. But some of these, like I think Apple is not even scheduled to report technically until like 30 minutes from now, but we should get numbers on WDC in just a few minutes, along with SNDK. What else? KLAC. Let me replace Visa. KLAC real quick. Oops. Because that one should be coming out, I think, any second now. Not too much of crazy movement yet. Very high price stock, KLAC, $1,600 a share. And Striker's coming out shortly as well in a few minutes. Deck. So if you guys are out there in the chat, make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, because we continue to do these lives for you guys. For all these earnings coming up, we're going to be live several times a week for the foreseeable future. So definitely subscribe and tune in for future lives. Yeah, nothing crazy yet. It's kind of the calm before the storm for now.
Yeah, we're just waiting.
Yep. But in just a few minutes, I'm sure we're going to get some crazy candles either up or down. Should be fun to watch. Hopefully fun to watch. Hopefully get some more bullish moves than bearish. Let's see. Yeah, this is a crazy, crazy week for the market. Yesterday was FOMC, Tesla, Meta, Microsoft earnings. So much volume coming in. You know, you got gold and silver going absolutely insane every other day. And now we're sitting here waiting for Apple and these memory stock earnings. Some of the biggest movers in the market today. So, you know, the sentiment here is really going to be dictated by whatever happens within here in the next few minutes, you guys. So make sure to tune in and do not miss it. Let's see. We should just have a few minutes here for the numbers to come out. Apple is having some weird wicks over here. What is going on, Mr. J? Out there in the chat. Great to see you out there. And by the way, you guys, if you guys want free trading ideas sent to your inbox every single Sunday for no cost, you can sign up for the TrendSpider's newsletter using the first link down below in the description. We'll drop it in the chat as well. It's completely free, and we'll send you guys a weekly market recap of everything going on in the market for free. Just use the first link down below to sign up. Man, this is really the calm before the storm. What are you guys thinking out there? Are we going to see bullish moves or bearish moves in just a few minutes here? I am hoping for a nice move up on SanDisk and WDC personally. Let me get WDC back up over there. Somebody said SNDK to 600. Yes, let's do it. I am very down to see SanDisk go up to 600, and he's also saying WDC to 300. The Heckler Fund is saying bullish. I love it. I absolutely love it. But as we know, earnings are always a toss-up. They're probably realistically going to have very good earnings. I mean, I don't think anyone here is really questioning that. Obviously, they might not. You know, STX absolutely killed it. So I'm assuming SanDisk and WDC will too. But that stuff could be priced in, you know. Could have an amazing beat and still drop.
I got a new indicator that is going to be interesting, and you'll see later on when the earnings come out. It tracks the change.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's not on the TrendSpider story, but I'm very excited for that one, Rock.
Yeah.
Rock is continuing to code a ton of indicators for us. And the one he's talking about right now is an after-hours price movement tracker. So it's going to show us, you know, how much the stock is moving up or down percentage-wise in the after-hour session, which is great for earnings. Is that all? That's pretty much the most of what it does, right? Is there any other features?
Interest tracks after hours. And again, you're right, it's great for earnings, but it's also great for looking for those really big after hour changes.
Right.
When you get a news item after hours and you get those 100% moves or some of the biotech stocks and
Yep.
low stocks.
You'll probably be able to scan from, right? Well, WDC just had a candle to the upside here and immediately got rejected. That was like a 3.8% move there. But yeah, it is 5 minutes after the bell. We should be starting to see some of these numbers come in. Looks like WDC had a candle. Oh, WDC is moving down on the 1 minute chart at the bottom right, you guys. Not looking super great for WDC for now. That could change.
2%,
no movement. Oh,
5%.
Yeah. You got the indicator on right now, Rock?
I do.
Do you have a multi-symbol view up or just the one?
I just have the one.
Okay. Let's wait real quick just for SanDisk while with the multi-symbol. Then I'll throw you up there so we can take a preview of your new indicator once we start seeing these moves. I just want to see what SanDisk is doing. WDC not looking great. We will take a look at the numbers here shortly, but it's down 4%, which is not that big of a move in the grand scheme of everything here. And it's right back up on the 1 minute.
Yeah, we're green.
Yep.
We're green on the after hours.
Somebody said Visa is crashing. Yeah, Visa is coming down. Down about 1%.
Yeah, 1.2.
Let's see. Still calm before the storm, but we do have some movement coming in here on WDC. Weirdly, nothing yet on SanDisk. You guys are just tuning in. Welcome to the stream. We are currently watching SanDisk absolutely fly off my charts to the upside. It just hit 555. Looks like numbers are in for SanDisk. That was an amazing move. Currently up about 6% in the after hours session in this single 1 minute candle. That was a nice move.
7%.
So far, I am happy that I did not trim any of my position so far. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe if you guys want to see us break down the numbers in real time here after all the moves come in. Of course, the fundamentals and the numbers matter, but ultimately us traders mostly are going to be caring about where the stock price goes. So that's why we look at the 1 minute charts here and catch all the movements as they happen. 588 on SanDisk. I actually hit 592 or so.
8%, 8.5%.
Absolutely love it. Want to throw up SanDisk on your chart, Rock? I can throw you up there.
It's up. I'm watching it.
Cool. So as you can see here,
one right here.
Amazing.
10%.
So yeah, this is wow, and it continues to move up, absolutely blowing through the top of my chart. Did it just tap 600? It did.
Wow.
Was that 10%? You can see Rock's new indicator. Yeah, over 600. Wow. WDC is following.
You want to go to that?
Yeah, we can take a look. Very nice. Very, very nice. So if you guys are out there in SNDK and WDC, I hope you guys are having a great time. I know me and Rock are.
Let's go back to SNDK.
Just flipped my day from, I think I was down to positive.
I've got some leaps on this too, so.
Oh. Wish I did.
I think I'm up like 800% already.
Oh my, 800% on your leaps. That is amazing. Yeah. That is, I love that. Let me see. While your screen is up there, Rock, I'm going to go take a look to see if I can find any of these numbers. I'm sure they are out in the TrendSpider newsfeed. if you guys are just tuning in, SNDK and WDC are absolutely ripping on their earnings reports. I'm looking at WDC earnings now. I'll say them out loud. We got WDC EPS beat and sales beat, double beat. And then it looks like they also raised guidance on both EPS and revenue, exactly what you want to see as a shareholder. And you sure are getting paid for it if you are a shareholder right now. But it's starting to look like they're slowing down just a tad. They got SNDK struggled a little bit there at the 600 level. But it's looking still pretty good. Rock, what is the number now?
A little over 9.
9%. Nice. Yep. Very, very good. Let's see. And we'll go ahead and analyze these numbers here in just a moment. Just want to make sure they're all officially baked in. Never know when the numbers are going to be a little bit funny coming right out. But I'm going to use Sidekick AI, send in a prompt to analyze all these numbers for us so we can see exactly what is happening. But again, WDC had a double beat. So I'm going to do the SNDK first. Let me pull up SNDK and see if I can read out the numbers here for us. So it says SanDisk sees EPS. Oh, wow. Is that in EPS at 6.20, beating the 3.12 estimate? They doubled their EPS based on the estimate. And then sales beat at 3.02 billion versus 2.59. And then adjusted. Are you kidding me right now? They're seeing adjusted EPS forward guidance of 12 to 14 a share versus 3.63 that was estimated. That is like a 4 to 5 times increase over what was expected, you guys. That is probably the best forward guidance I've honestly ever seen.
608, almost 609.
Holy
610.
That is beautiful. That brings a tear to my eye. 611. You cannot stop the memory plays, you guys. And by the way, revenue came in at 2 times higher than expected for forward guidance. 4.4 billion was they're projecting versus the 2.62 that was estimated. And I believe that is for quarter three specifically. So not the full year, but quarter 3, which is absolutely insane.
Western Digital has kind of backed off a little bit here.
Wow, WDC coming down a little bit. But SanDisk, you absolutely cannot. 627 now.
15%. Holy cow.
What a report, you guys. What a report. That is insane. I'm going to resend this prompt in because I think that data came in just after I sent it. But wow, I mean, it literally cannot get much better than that, you guys. So congratulations to everybody holding SanDisk. I'll just say that. Apple is coming down a bit, but I don't think they report numbers till still got some time for Apple to report.
I think they reported 4:15 after the full market close.
Let's see. Either that or it might even be 4:30 Eastern. I'm seeing 4:30 on this source, but you never know.
Yeah, that could be right.
Never know. But so far, some excellent moves here. Let me see what Sidekick is saying, if anything yet. Wow.
Still going.
Yeah, still going.
620.
Let me, I'm going to put up my screen real quick and show off the Sidekick announcement here. Zoom in a little bit for you guys. So this is the SanDisk earnings announcement today that just happened. You can see this is the EPS, what it reported at versus the forecast. Basically doubled it, 98% beat. And then revenue, 16% beat. And this is absolutely insane. Forward guidance, which is also insane, came in at 12 to 14, like I was saying earlier, versus the analyst estimate of just $3.63. That is about like a 250% move up above what was expected. Revenue 68 to 71% above consensus. Again, basically doubling what the analysts were expecting. And of course, after this, Sidekick is giving a buy. Absolute blowout Q2 results and guidance. Supply shortage persisting into 2027. Data center inflection. All this, I mean, yeah. But it does say, however, this 1,300% rally does warrant caution, of course. I'm sure it will get pretty volatile here. Already is, but here's the daily chart of SanDisk. Wow. Sitting right now at 624. I'll open up my multi-symbol view again here so we can see how it looks on the 1 minute. But WDC not really following suit as much. So that's kind of unfortunate. What I do want to take a look at as well is Micron, MU. Micron also rallied on this announcement, up another 4% in the after-hours session. So market is not forgetting about Micron or STX. STX is also up here, another 4% on this news. And I know there's some other names like Striker. Striker is up pretty nice over here, about 3.71%. Rock, I'm going to throw you back on stage. Let's see what you're looking at here. You got Micron up.
Micron. So
nice. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful looking chart there. Let me see what I can do here for WDC, because WDC, again, was not moving quite as much.
2%.
Yeah. Still up,
Yeah.
Still good. But, that SanDisk move was just absolutely insane. So that's the daily chart there.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting. So, yeah, it's really, what is it now? Just basically flat. Apple will either be, I think Apple's going to go ahead and be in about 13 minutes for those asking in the chat. So we will definitely cover Apple as they come out. Yeah, big winners and moves today. It's looking like SanDisk is wanting to hold, above, it's well above 600 now. We'll see if it holds, throughout the earnings call and all of that. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful moves. Let me pull up my Sidekick here. We can take a look at, I'll look at Visa earnings for those curious and asking down there in the chat. It looks like Visa had a double beat. So Visa came in EPS at 3.17 versus 3.14. Sales beat at 10.9 billion versus 10.68 billion expected. So double beat on Visa. I am not seeing any forward guidance quite yet. But so far so good there on Visa. But unfortunately, the stock price is down. You got Visa. How much is Visa down, Rock, on your indicator?
A little more than 1%, 1.39.
Yeah. Just doing Visa things, just hanging in there.
Yep.
But let's take a look at WDC, because I'll throw myself back up here to show us a Sidekick analysis. So here we go. Q2 EPS, you can see the green bar here. Destroy the estimate and the Q2 results from last year. And same here with revenue. You can see massive beat, both EPS and revenue. And EPS guidance was 17% above what was expected. Revenue guidance 8% above. So again, a double beat and a double forward guidance raise. So very nice. But let's see what Sidekick has to say. So it gave it a buy rating. Very cool. WDC delivered great results, beating across the board. Gross margins expanded to 45%. It says valuation is a bit extended after, this big rally. But, it's still giving that buy rating to both WDC and SNDK after these earnings reports. And yeah, it's hard to bet against these stocks right now. And gold and silver. I mean, the moves lately have just been gold and silver and memory. Is there anything else that you've been seeing that's been rallying, Rock, that's been on your radar?
I mean, silver has been insane.
Yeah,
obviously. And the memory stocks. I mean, I think you nailed it. Some of the other stocks have been tricky. Some of the space have been very up and down. The ASTS and Rocket Lab have been strong when they move up, but when they move down, they're very strong. Also strong down. And then, of course, iron. I'm a big iron bull, so nice. I'm an iron and cipher bull. And so those have been. You have to have some good tolerance on there. There's been a pretty good drawdown, but it's been had a pretty good week. I think today was down a little bit on both. Cipher down 6%. Iron down 4%.
Yeah, iron's been a big name. And Ronnie Scott, I was talking about the memory names specifically. Microsoft definitely was down. Could definitely bet against Microsoft. We're taking a look at iron right now on my chart.
Google obviously was very strong today because of the earnings. Had a great day.
Yep.
I mean, Meta. I'm sorry, Meta.
Meta.
Looking at Google, but saying Meta.
Yeah. It was live yesterday for Meta's report, and they had strong resistance here, but they were able to break right on through it and fill the gap. I'm sure a ton of people are out here trying to play this gap fill, but looks like the market makers said, we're just going to fill it with another gap. So there's that. Yeah, guys, Apple earnings is going to be coming out in about 8 minutes. So stick around and we're going to take a look at the numbers as they drop in real time. Stick up Apple right here on our multi-symbol view. What else was there? I think DEC was another one that reported today. DEC is up pretty nice. 16% on DEC. Wow.
I don't think I had DEC in my list. Let me add it.
Yeah. I believe that was earnings play. Let me see. Yeah, 17%. Insane. So the top winners are DEC and SanDisk, and then Stryker's up a little bit. WDC flat. KLAC is down. Someone just mentioned CAT in the chats down below.
Yeah, CAT. I think that was this morning, no? Or was
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, pre-market CAT. Look at CAT. Killing it. Open a weekly here. Yeah. Very beautiful trend on CAT. Bottom catcher signal there at 1610 right before the breakout here. That's pretty nice. Looks like it's breaking above like the 600 range, closed above, and looked great ever since. It's like the EPS and revenue beats year over year. Take a look at this SanDisk daily chart, sitting about $616 per share. Yeah, I am very curious to see now what happens to Apple. So much, I think I'm going to start a poll on YouTube. So if you guys are out there on YouTube, for one, make sure to like and subscribe and sign up for the free TrendSpider newsletter using the first link down below. But I'm going to start a poll. Does Apple move up or down after ER released? Go ahead and vote. It's a simple question, yes or no. Is Apple going to move up or down after the earnings are released? I am curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are going into these earnings on Apple. So go ahead and vote yes or no. Is Apple going to move up or down shortly here in probably just about a few minutes? Let's Let's take a look at the multi-symbol view again. Here we got Apple at the top left.
Pretty flat still.
Yep. Yeah. If anything, a little bit down, but yeah, it's basically flat. Maybe if you want to stick Apple up on your chart, Rock, we can.
Yeah, I have it up
there. Cool. Yeah, we can see it with your new indicator here. By the way, again, you guys, we're on with Rock Regan. He has created tons of awesome indicators on the TrendSpider platform. You guys can use the link down below in the chat to go ahead and check out all of his indicators. One of his most popular is the bottom catcher.
This other one here is levels. So this is showing the opening range. Then it's the high and the low, pre-market high, pre-market low.
Awesome.
Dotted are yesterday low, yesterday close, yesterday high.
I did misword that question, but I think you guys get the point. The question, vote yes if you think it's going up. I said, does Apple move up or down after ER is released? Yes or no? I should have said, does it move up? Yeah.
It's going to move
up. Yeah. And 78% or so of you guys are voting that Apple is going to go ahead and move up. Hopefully you guys are right. I mean, I don't have any Apple actually personally. It doesn't really matter that much to me, other than I like to see the entire market go up. As a trend follower, you guys, times like these are the times where you need to really stack those gains because, you know, it's been a great year for the market, depending on what you're in, I guess. But yeah, you got to really capitalize on these big moves because it's not always going to be this nice. And Apple should be coming out, yeah, in just about 4 minutes, you guys. So make sure you get those votes in. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe because we will be going live for all of the rest of the earnings coming out over the next month or two, bringing on more awesome guests here like Rock Regan as well. Apple's coming down a bit right now here on the chart. Nothing crazy though quite yet. But yes, Apple's sitting about 257 right now. And again, let's see. Did I throw this into Sidekick yet? Let's see. Going to throw in a prompt for Sidekick for Apple to see what it is saying going into close. I actually think I did do this one. So Sidekick did give a hold take before earnings, not a buy, not a sell. Then we'll go ahead and see what it recommends after the earnings. Yeah, Apple is an interesting one because they're not really, you know, tied too much into the AI narrative. They actually just recently had a deal with Google's Gemini AI that's going to be, I believe, what was it, powering Siri and just powering, you know, the AI on the iPhones and all of their Apple products. Yes, I know the question is worded poorly, but you guys get it, I think. 79% of you guys voted yes that Apple is moving up. I'm just going to end that poll.
Western Digital now negative.
Oof, WDC down. That's crazy because they had a pretty good earnings report. They're the only ones down in the memory names, that is. And they, you know, better than expected earnings. You know, didn't WDC spun off SanDisk as its own thing because I thought it wasn't doing well. And here SanDisk is outperforming it. Yeah, it is very weird, you guys, that WDC is dropping. I will agree with that.
Apple dropping here a little bit before.
Yep. Apple should be coming out any minute now.
See where we get the whipping.
Yep. any second here, we're going to see these Apple numbers. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really owned or traded much of Apple stock myself. Obviously, it's one of the biggest companies in the entire stock market. So you definitely got to keep an eye on what is going on.
Whoa.
Oh, we're getting an upside move here on Apple. Let me see if I can find the numbers.
Up 2%.
Nice.
We're whipping around here a little bit.
Very, very nice. So far, some great movement. I'm looking at my daily chart. It is breaking above, or it's still at that resistance level. So we'll see if it can hold this move to the upside. But so far, so good. And if you guys are out there in the chat and you guys are in Apple, let us know down in the chat below. Curious to see what you guys are holding. You guys in SanDisk, you guys in Western Digital, Apple. What are you guys in? You got Sonny the Greek saying the first reaction is usually the wrong reaction for Apple, I think. So we'll see if that holds up. But I mean, this is a very nice 1 minute candle here. Are we up about 2.7%? Somebody's holding an Apple 280 call. Let's take a look at, someone said Oracle. I bought 100 shares of WDC and 10 shares of SNDK. Oof. Well, at least you got those SNDK shares to get this movement. Got a lot of people in Apple out there in the chat. So I'm sure a lot of happy people out there then. It's currently up pretty nicely. You guys are enjoying this earnings live stream. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe so you guys can tune in for future lives as well. But Apple continues to move up.
3%.
Yep. Nice.
3.5.
Here's the numbers. Apple Q1 EPS beats sales beat. Apple with a double beat. Beat both EPS and revenue. The exact numbers, we got 2.84 EPS, beating the 2.66 estimate. Sales came in at 143.7 billion, beating 138 billion. Wow, that's a very, very nice report, actually. Not seeing forward guidance quite yet. But yeah, very good beat for Apple. Yes, forward guidance is going to be very important, you guys. Also, question for you guys. Which earnings call did you guys want me to stream today? I was planning on doing Apple, which starts in about 27 minutes. I think probably, I mean, that's the biggest name. Would love to do like WDC or SNDK, but Apple is just so big. I feel like I just kind of have to do Apple. SNDK is slowing down a bit. It just broke back under 600, by the way. Is the SNDK call already on? So we probably won't be doing that.
%10 now up on SNDK, so it's come down a little bit.
For sure, for sure. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully it holds. But, you know, it's already up, you know, so much in the after-hours session. Even if it gives up a lot of these gains, it's still going to be in a very nice spot.
So this is that scanner. That's the after hours in the scanner right here. Awesome. So I'm running like after hours big changes.
What we got? Anything interesting?
There's a couple movers out there. I don't know what Fat BB is.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Hold on, we'll just go to it real quick.
Yeah.
up 600%. So that's another use for that scanner. You can put that in a scanner, find after hours moves, changes.
Very cool. Apple coming right back down. Gave back about half of the percentage gains that it just had. By the way, if you guys want to check out Rock Regan's indicators on the TrendSpider platform, the link is down below in the description. You can import them all for free if you're already on TrendSpider. Be sure to check them out. He has some great stuff in there. Also, make sure to like and subscribe if you guys are excited to hear this Apple earnings call here in about 30 minutes from now. But now that we have a lot of the data here, I think in Apple, I'm going to run it through Sidekick and see what Sidekick has to say about these earnings. Let's see. Last one I did was WDC. Start a new one for Apple here.
Throw that on a minute chart.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. It's hanging in there. Hanging in there. It did have kind of a nasty kind of drop from the top. What was that? Like a 2% drop from the top it made, but it's holding up. SNDK also just started going back up just a tad.
Yeah, we'll hide that one for now.
Yeah, let me drop the link again for Rock Regan's indicators here in the chat below for you guys. There they are. They're also down in the description below, you guys. But there is the link in the chat. That goes to his author page, so it has all of the indicators he has made. Yeah. And so let's see what Sidekick here has to say about Apple. I'm going to throw myself back up here. So as you can see, 2.84 EPS came in above the 2.66 estimate. And then we got the revenue at 143 above the $138 billion estimate, both significantly coming in higher year over year compared to Q1 of 2025. Forward guidance looks like iPhone and services had a record high achieved, new all-time high revenue records. Very nice. No Q2 outlook yet. The one thing that Apple doesn't have is significant CapEx spend, but it says here on Sidekick on the AI investment front, it's significantly increasing its R&D spend. They have a new Houston manufacturing facility for Apple Intelligence servers that are optional. And of course, the tariff impact is something that definitely want to keep an eye on there. But yeah, Sidekick gave it a buy. The rationale is that, there's a massive beat on, EPS and revenue, record services performance, and really you can just stop there. We'll have to look at the forward guidance, what they go ahead and say in the call.
Had a big liquidity grab there
on Apple.
Yep.
Take a look. Oof, yeah. Crazy wick there on Apple. Wow, came down all the way down to the bottom of, had a second wick at this like 258 level. Crazy movement right there. And we got Pietro Froyo out in the chat, another custom indicator creator here on the TrendSpider platform. How's it going? Great to see you guys out there in the chat on the live. But yeah, very nice, very nice reports here across the board. If you look at my watch list here, the earnings watch list, we got SanDisk leading the charge, followed by DEC. DEC is one of the smaller names, but still pretty good. Bottom catcher signal there right at the market close. That is interesting. And then Apple's our third best winner of the day. And WDC is essentially flat, crazy enough. KLAC seems to be down, and Visa is basically, flat to down. Nothing too much going on there.
Apple's holding a little bit. about 2%.
Let's go back here to Apple. I can throw you back up for now, Rock. But if you guys have any questions about any of Rock Regan's indicators, now is a great time for you guys to ask, because he is here with us live and can explain them to us.
We can do some scans too, or we can do any tickers anybody wants.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we got about 20 minutes until the Apple earnings call. We already went over all the numbers. So maybe you can take a look at those scans that you have, Rock.
Yeah, so here's one I have. This is a daily. And again, the one that I have in the TrendSpider stores on a weekly, but you can clone it. You can change your time frames. You can change how many candles you want to look back. So this is a daily. I'm looking back 5 candles. And I'm scanning the entire NASDAQ composite here. And it's nice over here. And so we'll do a scan of, even though I've done it. We'll see what comes up.
Yeah, let's see if there's anything good in there.
And
sure there is.
Let's go here from the top. So here's one Castor Marine. It's up 11% since the flag on the 28th.
Nice. And maybe real quick explanation again for all the new people in here. This is the bottom catcher indicator. It's essentially trying to time and give you scan results of like the best times to buy a stock on a move back up. You know, a stock that's been tanking. You want to find a good buy point. So, you know, like buy the dip. This indicator and scanner is definitely what you're looking for. Sorry.
It definitely helps find the dip, and it looks for some confirmation. There's again 6 conditions that it looks for, so it's not very noisy. So when you get one, it's pretty good. I built it really for higher time frames, so really daily, weekly, monthly. But you know, we found that using it on low time frames has actually been pretty good. So this is actually on the daily, but we can do you know, we can do lower time frames, weekly, 5-minute, 15-minute. You know, people have used it for, again, pretty much all time frames. The monthlies are kind of crazy. The monthly signals are really good. And I've got, like I said, I've got a weekly scan over here. I don't think you can see it on my screen, but this is one I did that was looking at weekly in the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Oh, I see RCAT.
Yeah, RCAT is on here. Here's an RCAT. It's a popular name. That's one. Yep. Here's Cal Marine. We can do one. I've got one on the monthly.
And again, you guys, the link is down below to check out all of his indicators and scans that you can import onto your platform for free if you're already on TrendSpider.
So here we're running a monthly. Here's a chip. Here's another good chip one. I'm sure that's going to be a good one.
Yeah. And people are throwing some tickers out there. First one I see is Meta. I think I actually remember seeing maybe a weekly on Meta on a scan that I was running earlier today, which is interesting. Let's pull up Meta there. Or maybe it didn't confirm.
Let's see. Let's go to daily, maybe.
Maybe it was the daily.
Yeah, there was a daily back in November.
Oh, nice. Wow, at pretty much the low there.
The monthlies are insane. They're going to be far back. The monthlies, and we don't get many signals. In fact, we don't even have one on this on Meta. Yeah, we don't have any monthlies on Meta.
Oh, good. But what else? Someone else said Nike. We got Coinbase, COIN, SoFi.
Yeah, let me see. I've got my Rock 30 list over here, which has some of those in here. So let's go to Coinbase. Yeah, this one is not a good signal. We got on the weekly, we're down 26% since it flagged. Coinbase has been all over the place.
Yeah, we got earnings coming up soon too.
Look at the daily on that. The daily's back, and it's not a great one either. SoFi.
Yep, SoFi. People are asking for MicroStrategy. That's another good one. MSTR. Anything on SoFi? I'm interested in that actually too.
SoFi on the daily caught the April low, the tariff wall.
That's a good one. Yeah, SoFi reports tomorrow morning.
On the weekly, we don't have a signal. On the monthly, we probably don't have a signal either.
Yeah. So
what was some of the other tickers?
MSTR, MicroStrategy.
Oh yeah, this one's ugly. I own MicroStrategy, so I know it's ugly.
Yeah.
So here's the monthly.
Yeah.
It's just not good. I mean, it was good if you got it down here. You would have had a great move. On the weekly, again, we got one back in 24. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. You got still 100% on it. Let's check the daily. We haven't have one in a while.
Yeah, I mean, so, the stock has been getting beat down.
Yeah, I have a big position in this, so I'm vested.
Nice.
Iron's another one that I'm a big iron bull.
Nice. It's been great. It's been a great one for the last few weeks. Nice dip by opportunity there. Is there any signals on the catcher there? Just a long time ago.
The weekly.
Yeah. So again, as you guys can see, the signal does not fire very often. So when it does, definitely want to pay attention. We got a question, by the way, too. Someone's asking, what does the pink color on the Red Dragon MCDX indicator mean?
It's actually red is good. Pink is just it's let me throw that up. Pink means it's below 50. It's a little bit different. This is a kind of a port of indicator that a number of folks use in other platforms. A couple of popular X people out there. Danny Chang is the guy I really like. He's the one that really uses it. He uses another platform over in Asia. Big X poster. Cantonese Cat works with him quite a bit. Red is good in this indicator. This really measures price action. And you can see where you get strong price action. And here we're on a weekly, so you're getting some good price action. The green is actually bad price action. And so we'll go through just a couple others. You can see, let's actually go to SanDisk.
Yeah, true. SanDisk.
And I'm sure you can see we started getting, once we started ramping up, we started getting all this red price action. So pink is just a threshold. It's not above 50 as long as it's below this. I actually use this on a 1 minute time frame, believe it or not, in the morning. And I look for pre-market price action.
Nice.
So that's just my own preference.
Nice. And we got someone asking for Netflix, RGTI.
Yeah, let me just turn that off. We'll go to oops.
It's like Apple's flat, by the way, in the after-hours session at this point. Coming up, guys, the Apple earnings call is starting in just about 12 minutes, so make sure you guys stick around so you can listen to that with us.
Here's Netflix, the daily.
Ooh. So did have a bottom catcher signal fire on the daily there.
Yeah, we did have one, but it didn't really hold well.
So far, yeah. About 3%. That's been a tough one. Definitely been a tough one to trade there, right?
Let's see, weekly, long time ago, May of 2014. Oof.
Wow.
Monthly. Here's a good look at this. Look at the monthly here. Back in.
Yeah, that is a nice one. And that's why you guys really should be using these scanners. You can run them on a schedule to send the results to your inbox every week. Imagine if you had caught that one. You know, a single signal. Like, how many indicators out there give one signal and it's absolutely just nails the bottom? Crazy. That is on the monthly time frame. So the longer the time frame you pick, the more significant it's going to be, and the less signals, of course, as well because of that.
So I have an error in the code that I have to fix. And I'm going to show you that demonstrate this real quick
Mm-hmm.
because this is insane. So
Let's
this
see it.
is the monthly on Microsoft. And if you see here that the year is wrong because the year is not in the 2000s, it's back here in 1994.
Wow.
So we had one signal, and bottom catcher knew that Windows 95 was going to be huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm showing my age. You're probably like, well, I don't even. I'm sure you don't remember Windows 95 way before your time.
I think I might have gotten a few months in on Windows 95, but
yeah. So look at that one signal back in 1994. But so yeah, some of these actually NVIDIA is a great month. Look at the monthly on NVIDIA.
Wow,
One signal.
another good one. 2008. 2008.
31%. 31,000%.
Wow. And if one is, that honestly kind of blows my mind. There's only a single signal over the entire inception of this stock. Like, so definitely, if you guys do not have this indicator, you should just add it to your charts just because why not? I mean, especially on like a monthly time frame, like it's not going to be very noisy, like you said, and it's going to fire out signals that are great, potential dip opportunities.
And you can change the size of the bottom catcher if it's too big on your chart. You can just change the font right here. With most of the indicators on TrendSpider, you can go to the settings and make them. I just made them bigger for the purposes of this webinar.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I remember the first iteration of this code or this indicator. It didn't even have the table, so that was a really cool addition to see also.
Yeah, I did that because I was just playing around with it, and I said I wanted to track what the P&L was on when the code hit, when the signal hit.
Yeah, great use case for sure. Oh, awesome. So again, you guys, link down below. Check out all these indicators for free here on the TrendSpider platform. Again, the bottom catcher indicator, and the scanner is called the bottom catcher finder, right?
Yes. Yep.
Those will all be on his page. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I'm looking here at Apple on my 1 minute chart. All those gains that it had from the report has essentially been given all back as we come into the call that's starting in just 8 minutes. So yeah, just 8 more minutes, Rock. If there's any, kind of final words that you guys or that you want to say, or if anyone has questions out there in the chat, let us know, because we are going to start this earnings call and hop off in just 8 minutes.
Yeah, all kinds of indicators out there. Another one that I really like is you can put the and you've got this obviously in the sidebar, but you can put the analyst right on your page. Here's the analyst.
No, that's a great one. Basically pulls all the recent analyst expectations over the last 2 weeks or whatever time frame you want.
Yeah, you can change it. You can change this analyst in terms of what the look back is. Like the look back right here is 14. We can change it to 21. Here's the 21.
Nice. Yeah, so that's a great one. You got a couple. Some people want to see gold and silver, GLD and SLV on the bottom catcher.
Sure. Let's go to silver. And we'll go to, that's actually an hourly. Let me turn this off. That's on the hourly. Let's go to the daily. The daily, we have no signal on it.
Silver is an interesting one.
Silver, we got a signal back here in 2020.
Oh,
a couple of them, a bunch of them.
Yeah. Got it way before the hype.
Yeah. Got a weird wick here. I don't know on that's just me or and let's go to the month.
That's interesting. I think that might just be maybe a horizontal or a vertical line. I'm not sure.
Let's go to gold.
Yeah, let's take a look at gold.
Oh, here's a good one on the monthly.
Wow. When was that?
That was back in February of 22.
Nice. That's a good one.
By the way, here's a stupid little indicator I put up there that just shows the resolution of the chart when you're
Oh, I
flipping
saw that. Yeah. Another
and
cool one.
candles, whether it's candles. I've been playing around with HA candles, so I wanted to always keep track of what I had. So let's go to the weekly. Actually, this gold had actually good signals.
Wow,
Back
that's
in
nice.
October and in 22 also in February. And then on the monthly, we looked at the monthly.
Ooh, look at that. Right on the cup and handle breakout.
And then here's the daily. So you would have caught the August or the April low.
Awesome. Awesome. Those are great signals on gold there. I love the monthly one. It's
Yeah.
like picture perfect there on that cup and handle breakout. Was, kind of a fake out in the beginning, but obviously did not end up being a fake out. Some very nice stuff. Let's see who else has stuff in there. I think we covered just about everything. Look at SoFi. Let's take a look at Coin real quick. Coinbase. I think that was another one that we might have not seen. And they do have earnings coming up as well.
So we actually have a monthly here. It's kind of ugly.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of data on Coin compared to these other names.
Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, we actually looked at this earlier.
Okay. Check out NOW. Someone keeps asking about NOW, and then IONQ as well as another request.
Yeah, we'll look at
probably
those.
Do these two, and then probably take us right into this Apple earnings call.
So here's the weekly on ServiceNow.
Love it.
Here's the monthly. Got no signal. Try the daily. Well, the daily's not great.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one back at 149. So, it'd be interesting to see, different exits with this, whether it be like a trailing stop or stuff like that. Oh, Adobe, someone requested too. That would probably be a good one because Adobe's really been selling off.
Here's IONQ.
Nice.
So we caught April low on the daily. The weekly actually has got some pretty good signals.
It's a good one actually.
And then the monthly, we got nothing, not a lot of data.
Yeah, not a whole lot going there. People are loving this. People keep requesting new tickers.
Here's Adobe. Yeah, this one,
nice.
Not great.
Yeah.
Weekly, we got nothing on the weekly.
Oh, wow. Daily would be interesting.
We did have one, but Adobe's been
probably would have got stopped out by now, but would be interesting to keep this on the watch list for the next bottom catcher signal. Again, you guys highly recommend using the scanners that you can import to your platform so that you can actually, scan for bottom catcher signals coming in now.
Yeah, here's the bottom catcher finder right here. You can subscribe to. And again, when you get this, you can change any of the parameters in here. You can change the time frames. You can save it as your own, so you can make different copies of it. You can this one's scanning IWM. You can change it to scan the NASDAQ. I mean, the scanning capabilities in TrendSpider are just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's one of our best features.
And you can see in here, when it does scan, you can actually see the results of the change percentage right in this little scan.
Nice.
So here's the weekly of NASDAQ Composite, and you can see what the winners are. In fact, here's another interesting, when you see a 0, we're getting a bottom catcher signal for right now for this week. So it's actually starting the signal. It's not complete because the week's not over. So this could go away.
Yep.
But right now we're getting a signal on IMMX, Tara. Some of these names I don't even know. But again, we get an early indicator that we're getting a signal.
Yep. Very nice stuff. Very nice stuff. And Crimson Dawn, someone is asking if there's a place to try this software ourselves. Yes, the platform is called TrendSpider. You can just go to, you're on X, so I can't chat to you at the moment, but just go to TrendSpider.com or Google TrendSpider. We will pop up. But it looks like we got just about 1 minute till the earnings call.
Yep.
So probably going to head off here. Rock, thank you so much for joining. I'm sure we can have you on again. It was great having you. People absolutely love the indicators that you make. So hopefully you keep making some more awesome ones and we can keep having you on these streams to show them off.
Very good. Thank you for having me. Love to do it again.
Yep. Sounds great. Have a great rest of your day.
Take care. Bye-bye. I'm going to stop sharing. And
I can take you off. Yep.
all right. Great.
All right. All right, you guys. So back to my screen here. I got Apple up at the moment. Earnings call should be starting in just a second. Before I put it live, make sure you guys like and subscribe so you guys can join us for future lives. We do stuff like this, 3-4 times a week. So make sure you join in and also use the link down below to sign up to get free trade ideas sent right to your inbox with the TrendSpider weekly newsletter. It's completely for free, but let's see if this call is starting. Here it is. Let me put on my audio for you guys.
Other income and expense, taxes, capital allocation, and future business outlook. These statements involve risks and uncertainties that may cause actual results or trends to differ materially from our forecast, including risks related to the potential impact to the company's business and results of operations from macroeconomic conditions, tariffs and other measures, and legal and regulatory proceedings. For more information, please refer to the risk factors discussed in Apple's most recently filed reports on Form 10-Q and Form 10-K, and the Form 8-K filed with the SEC today, along with the associated press release. Additional information will also be in our report on Form 10-Q for the quarter ended December 27, 2025, to be filed tomorrow, and in other reports and filings we make with the SEC. Apple assumes no obligation to update any forward-looking statements, which speak only as of the date they are made. I'd now like to turn the call over to Tim for introductory remarks.
Thank you, Suhasini. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining the call. I am proud to say that we just had a quarter for the record books. We are reporting our best ever quarter with $143.8 billion in revenue, up 16% from a year ago and exceeding our expectations. The demand for iPhone was simply staggering, with revenue growing 23% year over year and all-time records across every geographic segment. Services set an all-time revenue record as well, up 14% from a year ago, and EPS reached an all-time record of $2.84, growing a robust 19% year over year. We set all-time revenue records in the Americas, Europe, Japan, and rest of Asia Pacific, and grew in the vast majority of markets we track. We continue to gain momentum in emerging markets, which includes India, where we saw strong double-digit revenue growth. Greater China also grew 38% year over year, driven by iPhone, which had record upgraders and double-digit growth on switchers. Apple's December quarter results underscore our relentless commitment to innovation, to our customers, and to our mission to build the best products and services in the world. Now I'd like to take a closer look at results from across our lineup, beginning with iPhone. As I mentioned earlier, it was a fantastic quarter for iPhone, with an all-time revenue record of $85.3 billion, up 23% year over year. This is the strongest iPhone lineup we've ever had, and by far the most popular. Throughout the quarter, customer enthusiasm for iPhone was simply extraordinary. Users were incredibly excited about everything it enables them to do. iPhone 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max deliver the ultimate iPhone experience. They feature the best ever performance and battery life on an iPhone, the most advanced camera system, and a striking design. iPhone Air, our slimmest and lightest smartphone yet, packs powerful capabilities into an ultra slim and sleek design. And iPhone 17 is a truly fantastic upgrade at an incredible value. Turning to Mac, revenue was $8.4 billion for the December quarter. We were pleased to see the Mac install base reach another all-time high, with nearly half of customers who purchased a Mac being new to the product. The M5-powered 14-inch MacBook Pro takes a huge leap in AI performance thanks to the next-generation GPU architecture and a faster neural engine. From the world's most popular laptop for consumers and businesses in MacBook Air to the small and spectacular Mac Mini, every Mac in our lineup has something special to offer users. And with the recently released Apple Creator Studio, available across Mac, iPad, and iPhone, creators have more tools at their fingertips to make incredible music or turn their devices into a video production studio. Meanwhile, iPad saw December quarter revenue of $8.6 billion, up 6% from a year ago, with an all-time record for upgraders. We are proud to have our strongest lineup ever, from iPad powered by A16, which is proving to be incredibly popular, to iPad Air with its amazing versatility, to the unbelievably powerful M5 iPad Pro with its remarkably thin and light design. It's no wonder that iPad continued to be the most popular tablet in the world. Across wearables, home, and accessories, revenue was $11.5 billion. With Apple Watch Ultra 3 and Apple Watch Series 11, users are tapping into a comprehensive set of health and wellness features to help them meet their health goals. In a recent survey, we see an increasing number of users telling us they're wearing their watch to sleep, which allows them to check their sleep scores each morning and find ways to improve their sleep quality. And Apple Watch alerts are enabling important conversations between users and their doctors regarding potential signs of hypertension. These are just some of the many ways that Watch is helping people live healthier lives. The response to AirPods Pro 3 has been amazing. Customers are raving about the rich, immersive sound quality, the unmatched level of active noise cancellation, and the noticeably improved comfort that makes them effortless to wear. Features like live translation are also changing the way people can communicate by helping users connect across languages in real time and making everyday conversations feel more natural and accessible. Together, these innovations create an experience that feels both powerful and personal, and the enthusiasm we are seeing reflects just how strongly AirPods Pro 3 are resonating with customers. Across our product categories, we are seeing very high levels of customer satisfaction, and we are proud to report that we have a new record for our installed base with more than 2.5 billion active devices. During the quarter, we were excited to see that the majority of users on enabled iPhones are actively leveraging the power of Apple Intelligence. Since the launch of Apple Intelligence, we've introduced dozens of features, including writing tools and cleanup, and made it available in 15 languages. These AI experiences are personal, private, integrated across our platforms, and relevant to what our users do every day. We are bringing intelligence to more of what people already love about our products, so we can make every experience even more capable and effortless. One of our most popular features is visual intelligence, which helps users learn and do more than ever with the content on their iPhone screen, making it faster to search, take action, and answer questions across their apps. And as I touched on earlier, we are hearing powerful stories of people using live translation to communicate seamlessly across languages. And these are just some of the many powerful AI features that are enabling our users to do remarkable things with our products, which are far and away the best platforms in the world for AI. That's in no small part because of the extraordinary power and performance of Apple Silicon. Building on our efforts in the AI space, We are also collaborating with Google to develop the next generation of Apple Foundation models. This will help power future Apple Intelligence features, including a more personalized Siri coming this year. We're incredibly excited for what's to come with so many new experiences to unlock. Turning to services, we achieved an all-time revenue record of $30 billion, 14% higher from a year ago. Services also set all-time revenue records in both developed and emerging markets. Apple TV has seen fantastic momentum, with December seeing a 36% increase in viewership over the previous year. It's no wonder with shows like Pluribus, which are creating landmark cultural moments that audiences are loving. Anticipation is building for upcoming new productions like Cape Fear from Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese. And we are thrilled to announce that Ted Lasso will be returning for a 4th season this summer. 6 years since launch, we're excited by the growing enthusiasm viewers have for Apple TV, and we are grateful for the accolades that have followed, most recently at the Critics' Choice and Golden Globe Awards. To date, Apple TV productions have earned more than 650 wins and more than 3,200 nominations, including a recently announced Oscar nomination for Best Picture for F1, the movie. And speaking of F1, we're also approaching the start of a new Formula One season, and for F1 fans in the US, Apple TV will be the place to watch every practice, qualifying, sprint, and Grand Prix. MLS fans will also be able to watch every regular and postseason game with their Apple TV subscription this year, and we're looking forward to kickoff in the coming weeks. Looking back, 2025 was a fantastic year for services as we rolled out amazing new features and broke records. Apple Music climbed to all-time highs in both listenership and new subscriber growth. Apple Pay eliminated more than $1 billion in fraud for our partners last year, and we've made it available in more markets than ever before. And last year, we welcomed more than 850 million users every week on average to the App Store, the world's safest and most innovative app marketplace. Developers have now earned more than $550 billion on our platform since 2008. In retail, we continue to bring a magical experience to our customers all around the world, and we were thrilled to have our best ever results in retail during the quarter. We were excited to open our 5th store in India in December and have plans to open another store in Mumbai soon. Wherever we are, we see ourselves as part of a larger whole. That's why we show up with our values in everything we do. That means working with partners in places like Vietnam to bring more clean water to rural areas. It means celebrating graduations of new classes of innovators from our developer academies in places such as Brazil, Indonesia, and South Korea. It means 3D printing titanium cases for Apple Watch using recycled materials so that they're better for the planet without compromising quality, and so much more. We're especially proud of the work we're doing to support American innovation. Last year, we committed to invest $600 billion over 4 years in vital industries like advanced manufacturing, silicon engineering, and artificial intelligence. As we're building on our longstanding investments in America, we're supporting nearly 500,000 jobs with thousands of suppliers across all 50 states. In the year since we made our initial commitment, we're making great progress. Today, we're shipping servers to power Apple Intelligence from our new manufacturing facility in Houston. Through our advanced manufacturing program, we're working with Corning in Kentucky to make 100% of cover glass for iPhone and Apple Watch. We're working with Micron, which broke ground on a new advanced chip packaging and test facility, and we continue to advance the development of an end-to-end silicon supply chain across the country, sourcing 20 billion US chips in 2025. Through our Apple Manufacturing Academy in Detroit, we're already training American businesses and innovators on the latest smart manufacturing and artificial intelligence techniques. 6 months since opening, The Academy is already making an enormously positive impact for businesses working alongside Apple engineers to drive productivity, efficiency, and quality in their supply chains. As I said at the beginning of my remarks, this was in so many ways a remarkable quarter for Apple. And we're excited for all the opportunities we'll have in the year ahead to deliver innovations that have never been seen before and enrich the lives of users every step of the way. With so much to look forward to in the weeks and months ahead, I have every confidence that our best work is yet to come. With that, I'll turn it over to Kevin.
Thanks, Tim, and good afternoon, everyone. Our revenue of $143.8 billion was up 16% year over year, our best quarter ever. Across the world, we set all-time revenue records in both developed and emerging markets. And we saw double-digit growth year over year across the majority of the markets we track, including the US, Latin America, Western Europe, Greater China, India, and South Asia. Products revenue was $113.7 billion, up 16% year over year, driven by double-digit growth in iPhone, setting a new all-time record. And as Tim mentioned, thanks to our strong levels of customer loyalty and satisfaction, our installed base of active devices has now surpassed 2.5 billion, reaching another all-time high across all product categories and geographic segments. Services revenue was $30 billion, up 14% year over year. This performance continues to be broad-based with double-digit growth in almost every market we track. We also reached all-time revenue records for advertising, cloud services, music, and payment services with December quarter records on the App Store and video. Company gross margin was at 48.2%, above the high end of our guidance range and up 100 basis points sequentially, driven by favorable mix and leverage. Products gross margin was 40.7%, up 450 basis points sequentially, driven by favorable mix and leverage. Services gross margin was 76.5%, up 120 basis points sequentially, driven by mix. Operating expenses landed at $18.4 billion, up 19% year over year. This was within the range we provided and driven by increased investment in R&D. Net income was $42.1 billion, and diluted earnings per share was $2.84, up 19% year over year. Both net income and diluted EPS were all-time records, and these incredibly strong business results drove an all-time record for operating cash flow, coming in at $53.9 billion. Now, I'm going to provide some more details for each of our revenue categories. iPhone revenue was $85.3 billion, up 23% year over year, driven by the iPhone 17 family. iPhone saw strength around the world, reaching all-time revenue records in many of the markets we track, including the US, Greater China, Latin America, Western Europe, the Middle East, Australia, and South Asia, as well as a December quarter record in India. The iPhone active install base grew to an all-time high and set a new all-time record for upgraders in aggregate and across many countries, including the US, China mainland, Japan, and India. According to a recent survey from World Panel, iPhone was the top-selling model in the US, urban China, the UK, Australia, and Japan. Customers are loving the latest iPhone lineup. The latest customer satisfaction for the iPhone 17 family in the US was measured at 99% by 451 Research. Mac revenue was $8.4 billion, down 7% year over year. As we described in the last call, we faced a very difficult compare against the M4 MacBook Pro, Mac Mini, and iMac launches in the year-ago quarter. Despite this difficult compare, we continued to see growth in several emerging markets, including Brazil, India, Malaysia, Vietnam, and more. And as Tim mentioned earlier, the Mac install base reached another all-time high, with nearly half of the customers who purchased a Mac being new to the product. And in the US, customer satisfaction for Mac was measured at 97%. iPad revenue was $8.6 billion, up 6% year over year, driven by the M5-powered iPad Pro and the A16-powered iPad. We continue to add new users to the iPad, In fact, over half the customers who purchased an iPad during the quarter were new to the product. This helped the iPad install base to reach an all-time high, and we also reached an all-time high for upgraders. Based on the latest reports from 451 Research, customer satisfaction was 98% in the US. Wearables, home, and accessories revenue was $11.5 billion, down 2% year over year. During the quarter, we experienced constraints on the AirPods Pro 3, and we believe the overall category would have grown had it not been for these constraints. The wearables install base reached a new all-time high, with over half of customers purchasing an Apple Watch during the quarter being new to the product. And in the US, customer satisfaction was recently reported at 96%. Our services revenue reached an all-time high of $30 billion, up 14% year over year. As we said earlier, we had all-time revenue records on advertising, music, payment services, and cloud services, where we saw double-digit growth on paid subscribers. We continue to be optimistic about the future of our services business. With our install base of over 2.5 billion active devices, we have an incredibly strong foundation for new growth opportunities. We saw increased customer engagement across our service offerings, with both transacting and paid accounts reaching all-time highs in the quarter. And we continue to improve the quality and expand the breadth of our services offerings, from new wallet features like digital ID, which provides a way for users to create an ID in wallet using information from their US passport, to additional ads coming to search in the App Store, which provides advertisers more ways to drive downloads from search. Turning now to enterprise, organizations are continuing to expand their fleet of Apple devices to drive productivity while remaining secure. Snowflake has deployed over 9,000 Mac devices company-wide, establishing Mac as a primary laptop across all business units, resulting in increased performance and a reduction in support tickets. AstraZeneca is rolling out over 5,000 M5-powered iPad Pros to its pharmaceutical sales team to take advantage of AI capabilities, including Apple Intelligence, while meeting with clinicians daily. And in Mexico, Coppel, the country's largest domestic retailer, recently added MacBook Air in addition to a growing fleet of over 10,000 iPad devices. Let's turn to our cash position and capital return program. We ended the quarter with $145 billion in cash and marketable securities. We had $2.2 billion of debt maturities and decreased commercial paper by $6 billion, resulting in $91 billion in total debt. Therefore, at the end of the quarter, net cash was $54 billion. During the quarter, we returned nearly $32 billion to shareholders. This included $3.9 billion in dividends and equivalents, and $25 billion through open market repurchases of 93 million Apple shares. As we move ahead into the March quarter, I'd like to review our outlook, which includes the types of forward-looking information that Suhasini referred to. Importantly, the color we're providing assumes that global tariff rates, policies, and their application remain in effect as of this call, and the global macroeconomic outlook does not worsen from today. We expect our March quarter total company revenue to grow by 13 to 16% year over year, which comprehends our best estimates of constrained iPhone supply during the quarter. We expect services revenue to grow at a year-over-year rate similar to what we reported in the December quarter. We expect gross margin to be between 48% and 49%. We expect operating expenses to be between $18.4 billion and $18.7 billion, which is at a similar level to what we reported in the December quarter and driven by higher R&D on a year-over-year basis. We expect OI&E to be around $100 million, excluding any potential impact from the mark-to-market of minority investments, and our tax rate to be around 17.5%. Finally, today our board of directors has declared a cash dividend of 26 cents per share of common stock payable on February 12th, 2026, to shareholders of record as of February 9th, 2026. With that, let's open the call to questions.
Thank you, Kevin. We ask that you limit yourself to 2 questions. Operator, may we have the first question, please?
Certainly. We'll go ahead and take our first question from Amit Daryanani of Evercore. Yes, I have two. Maybe to start with, there's a lot of focus on the impact of memory to hosted companies, and I'd love to kind of get your perspective when you folks are guiding gross margins up into the March quarter. Just talk about, A, your comfort in securing the bits that you need for shipment, and B, how do we think about memory inflation flowing through Apple's model over time?
Yeah, Amit, hi, it's Tim. Let me back up a bit and talk about the constraints that Kevin referred to in his remarks and memory. Try to get both of these out at once. First of all, we were thrilled with the customer response on the latest iPhone lineup. It exceeded our expectations, to say the least. And, iPhone grew 23%. What the result of that was that we exited the December quarter with very lean channel inventory due to that staggering level of demand. And based on that, we're in a supply chase mode to meet the very high levels of customer demand. We're currently constrained, and at this point, it's difficult to predict when supply and demand will balance. The constraints that we have are driven by the availability of the advanced nodes that our SoCs are produced on. And at this time, we're seeing less flexibility in the supply chain than normal, partly because of our increased demand that I just spoke about. From a memory point of view, to answer your question, memory had a minimal impact on the Q1, so the December quarter gross margin. We do expect it to be a bit more of an impact to the Q2 gross margin, and that was comprehended in the outlook of 48 to 49% that Kevin gave earlier. Beyond Q2, we don't obviously provide outlooks beyond the current quarter, but we do continue to see market pricing for memory increasing significantly. As always, we'll look at a range of options to deal with that. So hopefully that gives you the full view.
No, thank you. I appreciate all the clarity on that, Tim. Maybe the other second question I have for you is, maybe just touch on the China strength you folks had. I think this is very close to all-time high revenues we've had in China. What's driving the strength over here, and just sort of the durability of the growth rate we saw in the December quarter would be helpful to understand. Thank you.
Sure. Greater China was up 38% year on year. It was driven by iPhone, where we set an all-time revenue record. So it was the best iPhone quarter in history in Greater China. It's driven by the customer enthusiasm for the iPhone 17 lineup. And I would tell you that during the quarter, traffic in our stores in China grew by strong double digits year over year. It was a terrific quarter. Our installed base reached an all-time high in both Greater China and mainland China. And we set an all-time record for the upgraders, and we saw strong double-digit growth on switchers. And according to a survey from World Panel, iPhones were the top 3 smartphones in urban China during the quarter. So it's really driven primarily by the product strength and the customer response to the product strength. We do see on non-iPhone products that the majority of customers that are buying a Mac, an iPad, a watch are still new to that product. So that's a very good sign for us. And if you look at iPad, on that same survey, iPad was the top tablet model in urban China. And according to Counterpoint, the MacBook Air was the top-selling laptop model, and Mac Mini was the top-selling desktop model in the December quarter. So overall, great quarter in China. We could not be more happy with it.
Awesome. Thank you, Amit. Operator, can we get the next question, please?
Our next question is from Eric Woodring of Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Great, guys. Thank you for taking my questions. Tim, congrats on announcing the partnership with Google, and we're all excited to see what you bring to market later this year. When I think about your AI initiatives, it's clear there are added costs associated with that. We're obviously seeing that flow through in OpEx. Can you help us understand maybe what the revenue upside potential that exists with AI? Many of your competitors have already integrated AI into their devices, and it's just not clear yet what incremental monetization they're seeing because of AI, but you're always disciplined with investing. You obviously have a differentiated product. So how do you monetize AI, and what's the timeline to realizing that ROI? Then a quick follow-up. Thank you.
Well, let me just say that we're bringing intelligence to more of what people love, and we're integrating it across the operating system in a personal and private way. And I think that by doing so, it creates great value, and that opens up a range of opportunities across our products and services. And we are
Okay, super helpful.
And we're very happy with the collaboration with Google as well, I should add.
Okay, thank you, Tim. And then maybe just a follow-up. Now that you have kind of more time and data to evaluate this cycle, can you maybe help us understand what the primary factors are driving strength in the iPhone? I'm sure there's a number of factors, but if you had to point to one or two, just what would they be, and how sustainable do you think those are?
I think it's different for different cohorts of where people are coming from in the device that they have, but it's a combination of things always that make the product sing. It's the display, it's the camera, it's the performance, it's the new selfie camera, it's the design. The design is beloved. And so it's all of these things that come together at once and are producing a very strong product cycle, as witnessed by our December quarter results.
Great. Thank you, Tim. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Operator, could we get the next question, please?
We'll now go to Michael Ng of Goldman Sachs. Please go ahead.
Wonderful. Good afternoon. Thank you for the questions. I have two as well, if I could. First, it was encouraging to hear about the revenue growth outlook of 13 to 16% for the March quarter. I was just wondering if you could, talk about any comps that we should be particularly aware of as we kind of think about each of the product categories. I know last year you guys had, MacBook Air with M4, the iPhone 16e, the iPad A16, and the iPad Air with M3. So just wanted to, ask if those things would create tough comps, or is it just less of an issue just given the new product outlook? Thank you.
Yeah, Mike, it's Kevin. How are you? Thanks for the question. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's any particular comp issue that we'd note. As you recall, last quarter we talked about the difficult comparison we had on Mac, but there's nothing that rises to that kind of color that we'd outline, in the outlook. And so I think it's just, continuation of the strong cycle we're seeing, subject to the constraints that I had mentioned in the prepared remarks that Tim, alluded to a little earlier as well.
Great. Wonderful. And then, just on services, advertising, strong in the quarter. I wanted to ask about some of the, new growth opportunities in advertising. I know you guys are doing the new ad slots in the App Store. Maybe you could just talk a little bit about that, and then any plans to do more in advertising across other products like Maps or TV. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Like what I would say, just if I step back in general, I think as we outlined, we saw really good broad-based performance in our cross services business. So ranging from, all-time records in advertising, music, payment services, and cloud services. So I think we see really good opportunities across a lot of our service categories, and we continue to, add new service offerings. We talked about, what we added to the wallet, like digital ID, and you referenced the additional additional ads coming into search in the App Store, which we are excited about. It provides, advertisers more ways to be discovered. And so I think we'll continue to look for ways to expand opportunities to add value to users, and also create opportunities for Apple. I think, as we talked about, we created, across a really significant milestone at 2.5 billion, active devices. So we really feel excited about the opportunity that provides for our services business as well.
Wonderful. Thanks for the thoughts, Kevin.
Awesome.
Sure thing.
Thank you, Mike. Operator, could we get the next question, please?
The next question will be coming from Ben Reitzes of Melius. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hey guys, how are you?
Hi, Ben.
Hey, Tim. First question is on Google partnership again. I wanted to understand how you came to that decision with regard to the AI and Siri in particular, and if there's an opportunity for you guys to share in revenue too with that partnership like you do in search. Thanks.
Yeah, we basically determined that Google's AI technology would provide the most capable foundation for AFM, Apple Foundation models. And we believe that we can unlock a lot of experiences and innovate in a key way due to the collaboration. We'll continue to run on the device and run in private cloud compute and maintain our industry-leading privacy standards in doing so. In terms of the arrangement with Google, we're not releasing the details of that.
Bummer. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I tried.
You did.
So, yeah, you knew it would be me. So the next question is on gross margin. I'm pretty shocked. I gotta hand it to you, Tim. That you're able to do 48 to 49. What's really going on there? How are you doing that with this memory, the NAND prices? Is it due to mix that there's a less hardware and more services, and services margins are going up? How are you doing it to keep it at 48 to 49?
Yeah, Ben, this is Kevin. How are you doing? Let me start maybe by just reflecting on the Q1 gross margin. I think we talked about the fact that we landed at 48.2%, so just above the high end of the range that we provided, on the last call. And I think if you look at that performance, we were up 100 basis points sequentially. We talked about the fact that we had favorable mix. I mean, as you know, when we have a good product cycle, strong product cycle, we're seeing for iPhone, that does lend itself to a bit more favorable opportunity on the mix and leverage side. So we're having a strong iPhone cycle, as Tim outlined. And so that also translated itself. So we talked about products sequentially went up by 450 basis points. So I think in general, we're just seeing favorable mix dynamics as well. Services continues to contribute as well. That business is growing, double digits. So that also is a contributor. And I think that, if you looked at our guidance, we're providing a similar range to where we reported in December. And there's going to be a few puts and takes. We do expect to see favorable mix into services. As you know, when we move from Q1 to Q2, that tends to be the case. And that's partly offset by a seasonal loss of leverage. So there'll be puts and takes. But, again, we feel pretty good about the guide of 48 to 49%. Which is similar to the range we reported in December.
Wow. Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Ben. Operator, could we get the next question, please?
The next question will be coming from David Vogt of UBS.
Great. Thanks, guys, for taking my question. Maybe Tim or Kevin, if we could pull out a little bit, can you help us understand how you're thinking about the overall kind of smartphone market demand, particularly given where memory prices are headed? And we've heard some conversations with some other OEMs as well as component providers that are worried about either the availability of components, potential market weakness in terms of demand destruction, and some of the actions to offset or higher prices. I know you don't give outlooks for the full year, but how are you thinking about all of those different vectors and what that might mean for the overall smartphone market, and then ultimately what that might mean for demand for iPhones as we move through the rest of this calendar year?
Yeah, on the supply side, I had made comments earlier about the constraint that we are seeing in Q2. And that's reflected in the revenue guidance that Kevin gave earlier. The constraint, as I'd mentioned, is due to the advanced node capacity. And it's really a result of growing so well in Q1 with the 23% and having less flexibility, partly due to that in the process to increase it as much as we would like to increase it. Beyond Q2, I don't really want to comment on supply. Supply is a function of a lot of things in the industry that move around a lot. So I wouldn't want to comment on that. I commented before on memory pricing, and so hopefully that answers your question. Oh, in terms of smartphone demand, we believe that based on the information that we've got is we gained share in the December quarter. Obviously, the market wasn't growing at 23%. So we feel good about doing that. And but I wouldn't want to predict how the market reacts in the future. It's very difficult to do that.
Got it. At the risk of not getting this answered, I'm going to follow up with, can you maybe help us understand, you mentioned there's a range of options that you're looking at. How should we think about kind of like LTAs in the marketplace? I mean, is that an option as we move through the year, or is it more spot-based from a perspective, particularly around memory? Just want to get a better sense for how we should think about kind of the dynamics in the marketplace.
It's a range, and so I don't want to get more specific than that. I mean, there are different levers that we can push, and who knows how successful they'll be, but there's just a range of options.
Great, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Great, thank you, David. Operator, could we get the next question, please?
We'll now be taking a question from Wami Mohan from Bank of America. Sorry for pronunciation.
That's fine, thank you. Tim, on the services, you grew a pretty impressive 14%, and I know you said that the App Store was a record for the December quarter, but third-party data is showing a notable deceleration in App Store growth, maybe 7% in the December quarter relative to your 14% growth. Was hoping if you could maybe confirm that, and secondarily, if it's correct, what might be some of the drivers of that, and what could be things that you could do to reverse that in future quarters? And I have a follow-up.
Hey, Wamsi, it's Kevin here. Look, I think we want to reiterate the fact that during the December quarter, we had a quarterly record on the App Store. As you know, we don't provide, specific color on how the individual services categories have done. But again, if we step back, I think we saw, again, broad-based growth across all the different categories, also across, various geographies. We had, all-time records in both developed and emerging markets as well. So, and double-digit growth in both of those too. And so I think in general, we don't provide, the color at the detailed, services level.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. I guess back to the memory price. I appreciate you have a range of options to address that. Historically, Apple's not used a pricing lever unless FX markets got maybe very dislocated to prevent arbitrage or issues like that. But given some of these unprecedented moves in memory, would pricing be a lever that you would be willing to pull or push, and outside of every other thing that outside of everything else that you can do?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to speculate on that one.
Okay, thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wamsi. Operator, could we have the next question, please?
We'll now go to Samik Chatterjee of JP Morgan. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Yep. Hi, thanks for taking my questions. Maybe for the first one, I'm just looking at your capital investment in the first quarter, which did moderate from the last one, and wondering if the partnership with Google on Gemini and sort of help collaboration to develop the next generation of Apple foundational models, does that have any near-term sort of impact on your intent to use Apple Private Cloud? I know you emphasize sort of the role Apple Private Cloud plays in the long term, but are there any changes on that front through this collaboration? Any thoughts around that? And I have a quick follow-up. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I think this is Kevin here. I think in general, as Tim outlined, we weren't going to provide any details on our, arrangement and collaboration with Google. Just speaking of CapEx in general, as you know, we have a hybrid, model for CapEx. And so I think that, what happens is our CapEx can be volatile, independent of kind of the volume of performance of our business. And as you know, our CapEx is made of several different line items that include tooling, our facilities, retail investments, investments in our retail store, data centers. And on tooling and data centers, we leverage this hybrid model that I mentioned before, which we leverage a combination of first and third party capacity. So in general, it's hard to read into the CapEx and draw any conclusions. And so I think I would just say there's going to be some ebbs and flows in CapEx. Last year, remember, we did build out our private cloud compute environment, and so we did have CapEx spending related to that in our results in December.
Got it. And my follow-up probably is for you again. You did mention product gross margin and the sort of drivers there for the product gross margin improvement. When you sort of highlighted mix as a driver, can you just sort of talk through what are the big differences in mix you're seeing for iPhone 17 versus 16? And did tariffs coming in more favorable play a role at all? And what you're expecting for tariffs for the next quarter?
Yeah, so there's a few things to unpack there. So on the overall margin on product side, I think I mentioned that we had favorable mix of products and leverage. I think given the strong iPhone cycle we're seeing, that was, I would say, probably a higher favorability than you might have seen in maybe other cycles. And as well, as you know, in Q1, typically we do see the impact of the cost structure of our new products that we launch. And in this case, we are seeing a more favorable offset from mix of products and leverage versus historical, sequential changes from Q4 to Q1. On the tariff piece, we had outlined a amount of $1.4 billion for the December quarter, and we landed roughly in that range, and at that level.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Samik. Operator, could we have the next question, please?
We'll now go to Krish Sankar of TD Cowen. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, thanks for taking my question. The first one I have for us for Tim. I think you touched upon this earlier on the Gemini integration and Apple foundational model. How to think about kind of like the difference between Apple foundational model functionality and third-party models? Like, does the Apple foundational model evolve to a different layer in the AI software stack? How to think about it as you partner with third-party frontier models? I had a follow-up.
Yeah, Krish, you should think of it as a collaboration. And we'll obviously independently continue to do some of our own stuff, but you should think of what is going to power the personalized version of Siri as a collaboration with Google.
Got it. Awesome. And then a quick follow-up for maybe Kevin or Tim. Just a lot of discussion on memory pricing. Given that the memory constraint or commodity scarcity is impacting both the smartphone and the PC markets, and Apple arguably having more purchasing power, do you think this is a chance for you to increase your market share both in iPhone and Mac at the expense of competition who might have more constraints in getting access to memory?
Yeah, I'd only want to talk about kind of what has happened. And we do believe, as I had shared, that iPhone gained share in the December quarter. And if you look at Mac for the full calendar year of 25, we also believe we gained share. And so we feel very good about our position.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
Thank you, Krish. Operator, could we have the next question, please?
We'll now go to Atif Malik calling from Citi. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for taking my question. The first one for Tim. Tim, some of the industry pundits are comparing the iPhone 17 upgrade cycle to the 2020, 2021 years as some of the iPhone 12, 13 users upgrade. Curious if you agree with that view, and also if you can layer on the impact from Apple Intelligence to the refresh rate.
I think each iPhone cycle has its own unique characteristics, and so I wouldn't compare it to a specific one. I think iPhone 17, the family of 17, is a unique product that brings several very compelling features in one product, and it has done extremely well. And so we feel quite good about it.
Yeah, Tiff, I'll just add to Tim's comment that we talked about the fact we have a large and diverse install base of customers, and so this product has really resonated with multiple cohorts, whether you're on older devices or newer iPhones as well. So we've seen really strong reaction to the product lineup.
Great. As my follow-up, there was a lot of discussion on supply constraints, and I'm surprised that you guys are constrained on advanced packaging as you generally get your share at the big foundry. How long will these supply impact your ability to ship to true demand?
It's difficult to estimate demand when you haven't met the demand, and so we've obviously we have internal estimates on that, but I don't want to share those. But it's very difficult, and just to be clear, it's the advanced nodes that like 3 nanometer to be specific, where our SoCs are, the latest SoCs are produced on as to what is gating the Q2 supply. And it's a direct result of the 23% growth, and that far outstripping what we had internally estimated, and having more limited flexibility in the supply chain for some period of time. But I don't want to estimate when supply and demand will balance at this point.
Very helpful. Thanks.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you, Atif. Operator, could we have the next question, please?
The next question will be coming from Aaron Rakers, calling from Wells Fargo. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking a question. I have two as well, and I'll try and stay away from the memory question. I'm curious, and obviously a lot of focus on the China demand, but I'm curious, you also called out India. And so can you maybe unpack some of the things that you're seeing in the Indian market, as far as iPhone traction? Any kind of color on, what is a very large install base in India that seems to be a good growth opportunity for Apple still?
Yeah, thanks for the question. We did set a quarterly revenue record during the December quarter. And to go a little further down, we set quarterly revenue records on iPhone and Mac and iPad, and an all-time revenue record on services. So it was a terrific quarter in India. We really like what we see there. It's the second largest smartphone market in the world and the fourth largest PC market. So, and we still have, despite very nice growth history, we have modest share there. And so we think there's a huge opportunity for us there. And we could not be more excited about it. If you look at the other thing that I would point out is that the majority of customers that are buying iPhone and Mac and iPad and Watch are all new to that product. And so it speaks very well to opportunity there.
Yeah, and Aaron, I'd add, you mentioned the install base. We're seeing strong double-digit growth in the install base in India as well, which is really encouraging.
Yep. And then as a quick follow-up, kind of tied to memory, maybe not so much, but part of this current generation, iPhone cycle is you clearly deepen some of your own internal silicon capabilities on the device. I'm curious if we should think about that as a lever and maybe a supportive factor to gross margin that might be underappreciated, and any thoughts on where we go from here as far as continual opportunities of internalizing your own silicon? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll let Kevin talk about the gross margin, but in terms of the product, which is at the heart of what we think about in the user, Apple Silicon has just been an incredible game changer for us, starting with iPhone and then on iPad and, of course, the Mac as of a few years ago. And so we believe it's a game changer and a major competitive advantage.
Yeah, and as far as impact on gross margin, we have been, as you know, investing in core technologies like our own silicon, our own modem, and certainly while those do provide opportunities for cost savings and can be reflected in margins, they also importantly provide, the differentiation that's really important for our products as well and give us more control over our roadmap. So I think there's a lot of strategic value to it, but also we are seeing, investments in our core technologies impacting, gross margin in a positive way.
Yep. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Aaron. Operator, could we have our last question, please?
Most certainly. Our last question will be coming from Richard Kramer, calling from Arete Research. Please go ahead.
Thanks very much. I have two questions. Tim, when you think about how Apple might manage AI, do you see that evolving towards more edge AI or on-device services versus cloud-based AI? And are you confident you've reserved sufficient data center capacity to support the widespread Siri adoption, especially given that you're not following the other hyperscalers and sharply increasing CapEx?
The answer is that we see both being important, the on-device and the private cloud compute. And so we don't see it as an either or, we see it as a both. And, and we believe it's a differentiator because of our privacy approach. In terms of do we have enough capacity, it's hard to estimate with precision what the demand will be. But we've done the sort of the best job that we can do, and either have or are putting capacity in for it.
Okay, and you mentioned the 2.5 billion active device number, but Apple Intelligence features have only been available since the 15 Pro. So can you speak at all to roughly what portion of your iPhone or overall active device install base is now AI capable? And has this been a factor in maybe a more gradual pace of launching wider AI services?
Yeah, Richard, this is Kevin. We don't provide that specific number, but it is a growing number, as you can imagine, in our install base. And so we're encouraged by the amount of devices now that are capable, but we're not going to provide a specific figure on that today.
Okay, well, had to try. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Richard. A replay of today's call will be available for 2 weeks on Apple Podcasts, as a webcast on Apple.
All right, you guys. Well, there was the Apple earnings call. Reminder, if you guys are still out there, to subscribe so you can join us for future lives. We go live like 3 to 4 times a week usually. And then also use the link down below in the chat and the first link in the description to get free trading ideas sent right to your inbox every single Sunday. Other than that, you guys have a great rest of your day, and thanks for tuning in.